How you doing? This is Dan Robinson, and on behalf of Motion RC, this is going to be an open box review of the TechOne Kraftei wing flyer in red. And just want to send out a big thanks to Motion RC. Go visit their website. I have it right up here for you. And some of the best customer service you'll ever experience. Also, they have some of the best product selections I've ever seen out of any of the websites. Let's go ahead and get this thing open up and see what we got in the box, and let's go ahead and build this thing. Alright. The box opens from the top here. As you can see, it comes very nicely packaged, ready to go pretty much. This is the plug and play version, by the way, guys. So pretty much what we're going to be doing today is putting on a tail feather and a receiver. This should be a very easy build. Let's go ahead and take everything out of the box here. We got the manual for the Kraftei. Again, this is going to have everything you need to build it from scratch. So let's say you have an accident. Parts are available for this aircraft, and you can go ahead and pick those up and do full builds, guys. Let me zoom in on that for you. Alright, so we got a manual, a spec sheet with everything you'll need. Okay, let's get this thing out of the box here. So we got two little styrofoam pieces here. They just come off. Let's take this little bird out. As you can see, it's packaged nice and clean. It's high quality foam, very dense, pretty, almost looks like monocoat, it's so clean. You can see we're missing the tail here, but that's inside the box. If you look at the bottom here, we have servos already pre-installed, control horns already pre-installed, everything pretty much set up. Props on the aircraft, motors installed. It's even got a little cooling area there for the motor. On the nose is going to be the nose cap with the pre-installed ESC, all the hardware areas for you to mount everything, including the battery. Okay, set this here. Here you go, guys. This is pretty much all you're going to have to do is put this guy on this aircraft. What I'm going to help you do is go ahead and give you an idea of how I'm going to put this on here. The other way, there's a couple different ways. I'm going to use 5-minute epoxy today. You can also use permanent, foam-safe, double-sided cement or two-sided sticky cement. And one of the better ways to put a lot of these together is with Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue is foam safe and expands into all those little areas and pretty much makes foam to foam connection. So let's go ahead and start building this thing. Let's get rid of this foam here. Okay, guys, the one thing I highly recommend before you do any build, no matter how complex the build or how simple the build is to test fit everything before you even start to glue things together. Let's say you have one part that doesn't fit quite well, or if you have servos or servo wires inside the tail section, sometimes you need to make a little area for those wires to go to get a good seat on the foam. But as you can see, you guys, this guy's going to be pretty much self-explanatory. It's going to be a nice tight fit, it looks like. Okay. And just to let you guys know, give me a second here, see if I can bring this other camera up for you. If you look, I'm going to show you on this camera over here. There's guideposts to make sure that everything's aligned really well. On the back here, you're going to see that this is pre-set up, so all you have to do is slice back on here. There's a hinge in here, the same kind of hinges they're using here. And this is set up so you put a control horn right here and you can add rudder to this aircraft. Which I think is incredible little extra for them to add on to this aircraft. The other thing is you'll also see that there's room for a servo hoe and for wires. So they've got this set up so not only could you have elevons, but you could go ahead and have a rudder on this aircraft. But let's go ahead and build this tail really quick here. We're going to follow right to the manual and in this manual, a lot of this build is already set. And as I go through this, I'm going to have pretty much on one of these two sides, I'll have it set up so you can see my build and the page that I'm working from. Okay, the page is page 11 in here, and it shows the servo installation on the wings, which is also being done. And then the most important part for us today is going to be the installation of the elevator, or rudder in this case, for this aircraft. Let's go ahead and get this installed here. And it's as simple as this. You mix your glue, you press it together. I'm going to hold it here for 5 minutes. I'll probably fast forward through that for you guys. And we'll have an aircraft. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to install the battery, the receiver, test the system on the radio, and get this all up and operational. So first things first is I got my standard 5-minute epoxy from any hobby store. Epoxy, again, for the most part, is foam safe. But before you do anything like that, it's a good idea to take a little smidgen of that and test it on your foam. Make sure it's not going to eat your foam. Let's go ahead and mix up some epoxy here. Won't need a lot. The fun part, waiting for glue to dry, guys. And again, most epoxies are just 2-part equal epoxies. You guys have used epoxy before. If you haven't, it's super simple. It's usually equal parts hardener and epoxy, and you just mix it up. I use little plastic toothpicks so I can get into all little areas. And on the back, they have a little spatula so I can spread this nice and even. You guys need a very, very thin coat of this. You don't have to goob this on a lot. I'll show you here. I'm going to put a little bit in this hole here, up and down the foam surface, any area that something's going to stick in, and then I'm going to spread it out pretty thin. Again, down into these little areas where the holes are. Down in here. And then if you can see, there's a little channel in the center, right here. You want to leave that open. This is how air circulates through this aircraft. So there's a hole in the front, there's a hole in the back. That way you can get some good cool airflow for the ESC and motor. And my recommendation, this is again 5-minute epoxy, guys. You don't want to be sitting here doing this all day long. And you just want to get this aligned, pressed into place, and then you just want to apply pressure to it, ensuring that it is perfectly upright. And here's the fun part. With foam like this, guys, a hint for you guys, if you apply any sort of tape to this, including masking tape, you can pull the color off this foam. Remember, this is foam, guys. It's soft, it's pliable, and can be easily manipulated. But the best part about foam is for a training aircraft, you crash it into the ground, a little bit of hot glue or a little bit of Gorilla Glue, you're back up in the air. So this is going to be an incredibly fun little aircraft. My understanding is it's pretty quick, and we're going to go find out. The good thing is we've got fresh snow on the ground, so we have plenty of soft places for it to land. And what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and get this out into the air here in the next couple of days, and we'll do a flight review for you guys. Again, I'll probably skip through this part. I'm going to hold this for 5 minutes to make sure that the epoxy holds the tail on nice and tight. Again, just applying good, even pressure should do the job for you guys, and I'll be right back. Still watching glue dry. Okay guys, it's starting to kick. What I mean by that is that the epoxy is starting to solidify and get hard. And so I should not have to hold this anymore. Okay guys, here we go. We've got a built aircraft. As you can see, I have a tail. Again, you really have to leave this little hole right here. in the back open as air enters through the bottom and exits on there for airflow. So next, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and set this aircraft up for power and ESC, and then the controller for the radio. Okay, let's go ahead and start that. The first thing you're going to have to do is go ahead and pop the top on this little guy, and you're going to have to reach deep inside here, and you're going to pull out two. You're going to pull out one for the right, one for the left, servo controller, and then of course you're going to have in the very, very back against the edge is going to be your ESC wire, okay? And it's important to differentiate between all these guys. We're going to go ahead and set this up. And I'm going to set this up today on a FrSky Tyrannus, okay, with an extended module on the back. And we're going to go ahead and set this up. So here's the things you're going to need. You're going to need a receiver, you're going to need a battery, and again, the one that I recommend, we'll do a zoom in over here, is going to be the Turnigy 1100 milliamp, 11.1 volt, 3 cell. Guys, they sell this right there at Motion RC. It's got links underneath the product for all the parts you'll need for the build. This battery is there. It's got a great balance port setup with some strain relief, and you can get it pre-set up with DIN connectors on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull out the ESC for this aircraft, just to show that it comes pre-set up with DIN connectors on the end of this, so you can plug it straight into the battery. Let's go ahead and get this set up. I'm going to turn on my radio. Each radio is going to be different. Everything from Spectrum to Futaba is going to be a little different, but most of these newer radios today will have a really quick guide to setting up those RC airplanes. When you select new product, you're going to want to make sure that this is a flying wing or a Elevon setup. Okay. Again, I'm just using a really small receiver that can fit into this aircraft. And I've already got something set up on here for the K-wing. We're just going to go ahead and make sure that we set up all the right channels. Welcome back, guys. I've got it all bound. Our little TechOne flying wing here is already set up. If you need help with the radio setup, follow the manual inside your radio. It should help you get it set up for a flying wing. We've got our tail section put back on here, our rudder. It's all set up for my radio here. So this is, you're looking down it. If you wanted to go up, down, left, and right, all the controls are set up. We have throttle, and it's a mean sounding little piece of equipment. This thing has plenty of juice. As you can tell, it pulls right out of your hand. Should be a fast, fun flying little aircraft. Once again, thank you Motion RC for sending this out. Go hit up the Motion RC website. Website's right there. Best customer care I've ever experienced. Very knowledgeable staff. You get on the phone with someone immediately. And again, the selection of aircraft Motion RC has is impeccable. Go out, have some fun. This should be a fun little aircraft. I'm going to be doing a flight review here shortly. Look for that on their website. Once again, thank you. On behalf of Motion RC, my name's Dan Robinson. Let's go out there and have some fun.